All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending my talk. So I'm going to have to keep this sweet, short, and succinct. So if you have any questions as I'm going through the slides, just talk to me about it afterwards. Okay, so one of the things that I stand for is advocating for DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as consumer awareness and protection in the Web3 space. So that's what I'm going to be talking about now. So who am I? I am the founder of a blockchain networking and educational platform, an award-winning platform called Women in Blockchain Talks. We've been going for the last 4 years. And I'm also a thought leader in this space. So I speak internationally. I've spoken on different platforms. I've been featured on different media platforms as well. And I'm also a LinkedIn top voice in innovation and technology. So I think it's quite evident to see and to know, maybe not today, because the Zebu guys and the team have done an amazing job when it comes to creating a sense of inclusion. And as you can see around, there's many women, there's many people from different cultures at this event. And I really do applaud them for doing so. And this is not something that we normally see in the space. There's no women scantily clad, marketing girls. So well done to the team in that regard. This is the future. This is what we want to see Web3 events looking like. So the crypto world needs more women. And, if you look at the data, it's very evident to see that more women, more diversity needs to come into the space. And it's important that there is more diversity and inclusion in the space, simply because we all have to add value to what is the future of work, career, business, and of course, money. So the other reason why it's important is because it gives one a sense of belonging. And we're here in London, a vibrant city, capital city. And what I find is that when you do go to events, there are a mixture, but even so, I run many events all the time, networking, socializing events. And what I hear back is I go to an event, I'm one of the few women in the room, it can be quite intimidating, etc., etc. And so that's one of the reasons why we created Women in Blockchain Talks. And I also wanted to be the Oprah of blockchain and interview the many amazing women in the space. Because, when you see it, then you can believe it. Representation matters. So we look at all areas, gender, ethnicity, culture, languages, neurodiversion, able body. So we look at all those areas, but at the same time, my focus is on gender. And even though we focus on gender, particularly women leaderships, women, our community is open to all genders. So everybody is welcome. So one of the things that we did to promote this, because at the end of the day, it's all well and good talking about DEI, but what does it actually look like? How do companies actually implement DEI rather than just speak about it? So obviously, as a thought leader in this space, I need to walk my talk. And so one of the things that we did is that we created a quiz campaign. And in that quiz campaign, we have different avatars. So you've got Diversity Delilah, Skeptic Sam, Career Pivoting Charlie, Newbie Naomi. And we also have Technophobe Teresa, because these were the sorts of individuals we were coming across. And we wanted to address their myths, break down their barriers, because sometimes we get in our own way so that they can come into this space and feel like they belong. One of the things that we did, I'm not binary, but what I did is, two of the names, Skeptic Sam, Career Pivoting Charlie, we use those names, Sam and Charlie, because they're non-binary. And so it's just a very small thing that I can do to try and make non-binary people feel like they are welcomed and comfortable in our space. And so sometimes it's not just the big things, it's the little things that you can do to make people feel like they belong in a space, in a community. So one of the things I'd like for you to do, so I'll just give you like 10 seconds, take the QR code and take the quiz. And of course you can take the quiz after the talk, but But yeah, it'll be great if you take the quiz and then let me know what avatar you come out with. So one of the things that we also did is, of course, languages, culture and languages. So we took a book, an ebook that I wrote, What's Blockchain Got to Do with Me? And we translated it into these 3 languages, which is Arabic, Mandarin and Castellano. Now, there was 2 reasons we wanted to do this, because again, it's about inclusion. Not everybody speaks English, and English is the business language of the world, right? So if we want different cultures and different diverse individuals to come into space, then we need to think about the culture and the language element. Now, one can argue and say with AI, it's not necessary. You know, we can just put it through technology. But building a community is also about engagement and helping people utilize their skill sets to be able to add value to the community. So what we did, we took people who were willing, who spoke these different languages, and we asked them to translate. And in doing so, we get to promote them, and they also get to add value to the space, even if it's in a very small way. So again, these are just examples of things that we've done in order to promote diversity, inclusion, and equity. We have different global chapters, as the MC touched upon, and so we have global chapters in Dubai, in Barcelona, in Warsaw, Manchester, because the UK is bigger than London, and also in Berlin, and we've just opened up a chapter in Zimbabwe, Africa. We do this, again, because we create leaders. On the floor, there are people who run these chapters, and so we're giving them the opportunity to utilize our platform to lead and to also help other people come into the space. Again, it's a small thing, or it's actually a big thing, to be quite honest, but it's a way of getting people in your community to get involved, to represent, and also to add value to the community and also to the people on the floor. Again, not everybody speaks English, and so if they can find that space where they can belong, then it helps to bring more inclusion and diversity to the space. So let's just talk about consumer awareness and protection, because of course, when we talk about DEI and inclusion, the objective is to bring more people in, help them feel like they're involved, and bring diversity to the space, ultimately. But when we do that, all of us here in this space are consumers in one form or another, even if we're building. And one of the things that Women in Blockchain Talks stands for is the fact that we look at ways of getting people involved from diverse groups to build. It's not just about being in the space for being in the space sake, but at the same time, people should move at their own pace. So consumer awareness and protection is something that's very important to me, because if we want people to stay in a space who are not necessarily building or who don't know about the space, they need to feel like this is a safe space for them to come into. And of course, the media doesn't help with the reports that they put out there. So as the statement, or as the article from Cointelegraph touches upon, exploits, hacks and scams stole almost 1 billion in 2023, okay? And this report is by Certec. So I know about this because last year, 2 of my Boss Beauties NFTs, anybody out here know who Boss Beauties is? Great. They've just merged with BFF, which is quite big news in the space. So 2 of my Boss Beauties were stolen from my wallet, my MetaMask wallet. And in doing so, I took it to the High Courts of England and Wales. And when I did that, the judge ruled in my favour, and they granted me a proprietary injunction. A proprietary injunction instead of a worldwide freezing order. And in doing so, I became the first person in the world to be granted a proprietary injunction for an NFT digital asset. That became case law, so my name is now in the books forever. That's my legacy to the space. And that case has an impact on taxation and also insurance, because if it's property, then it will have that impact. And that case is now being used around the world. So what are the things that we can do and the things that I talk about in regards to this case? Well, I'm talking to people like Lisa Cameron, who's speaking tomorrow. She's an MP, about how we can create a Web3 charter. And of course, there's things around regulation and compliance. And one of the big things that people talk about is the fact that it's very expensive to receive access to legal support. So there's things that we're doing around that. So watch this space. So with that being said, You know, it's very important that we think about, as we go about our business, or in our business, and think about how we can do small things to make sure that we are being diverse and also being protective of the consumers that we are and that the community is. Thank you for listening.